Good afternoon. Good evening, wherever you are listening from. Did you miss me? Did you miss me? I hope you did because I missed you guys too. Wow. It's good to be back on the mic, especially the week I had. So, as I always say, for those who are joining Unapologetically Tea podcast for the first time, I welcome you and to my world. And my prayer is that the stories that I tell will give you the courage to tell your story because it's all about you, baby. And also to my devotees, y'all know who y'all are, been rocking with me since whenever. My devotees, thank you so very much for still supporting your girl, always on here. Yes, thank you for your support. And make sure, since y'all love me so much, make sure you go subscribe to my YouTube channel at Unapologetically Tea Podcast. And also, I can be found on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and other streaming platforms under Unapologetically Tea. And also, if you can't get enough of tea, I do have a Facebook page under that name. I do release a lot of exclusive clips for the previous episodes. I just released one today for Who Run It. And there are no church announcements this week, unfortunately. But you know what? I take that back. Last month was Epilepsy Awareness Month. And as y'all know, I am epileptic. Check out the hair. Shout out to Maurice Boyce, the hair god that keeps me on the colors. But last month was the Epilepsy Foundation Epilepsy Awareness Month, and I will be diving into an episode about that, about my journey. So let's get it started, ladies and gentlemen. As you know, we are in the holiday season. There are mixed emotions for some people, whether it's grateful, happy, somber, or just to be left the fuck alone. Family can be a blessing or a goddamn curse. Family can be a safe haven or a bottomless pit of judgment. It is up to you how you deal with these scenarios. This episode is dedicated to the black sheep of the family. Me being myself, I am the black sheep, and we're going to dive into it as well. So, this is y'all episode. If you are the black sheep or you feel like you're the black sheep, tune in right now, share it with anybody else that feels the same way. And as always, each one teach one. So, today's title is called Fuck the Family. Yeah, we going there. So if you not heard this iconic line from this movie called Soul Food, it came out in 1998 and it has an all-star cast. I'm not going to give you the whole movie. Please go see it yourself. But us like 80s babies and 90s babies, we seen this. And the premise of the movie is centered around the family, Big Mama being the matriarch, and she has three daughters. And basically, they get together around Sunday dinners and their happy moments, their sad moments, and there is a come to Jesus moment. And when I first saw this movie when I was 14 at the drive in off of 3rd Street, from folks from Memphis, y'all know where that's at. At the drive-in on 3rd Street with my mom and my dad. And I watched it then, and my first impression, one of the daughters was named Terry. And Terry is played by the most beautiful woman in the world, Vanessa Williams. You know, Miss USA. Google it. And when I first saw it, I'm like, oh, she's a real bitch. She's the villain. When I look back at it now, she wasn't the villain. And she had this famous line when they was talking about, Dude, Kenny was like, "You got to do stuff for you and your family." She said, "Oh, fuck the family. Fuck the family. The family in, the family out. You know what? The family fucked my husband. Yes, Faye, fuck my husband." And then she grabbed a knife. And also a little fact that fuck the family line wasn't even in the script. That was an improv line. Like on the Temptations that we recite all the time. Ain't nobody come see you, Otis. That was an improv line. Like that was not in the script. So everybody that was in shock, they like, oh wow. So you could see the true emotion. So we gonna talk about Terry. Terry was not the villain. And I'm gonna tell you why she was not the villain later on and how we all can relate to Terry. So I'm gonna go over some stuff concerning black sheeps. And if you don't know what a black sheep is, the black sheep is a family member is a family member that does not fit in whatsoever. They're different. So that's why they call them the black sheep. Okay, let's see. I should have had this pull up, but I guess not. Let me move this mic out the way because I have a problem always doing that. The black sheep, according to the dictionary, is a member or a family of group that is regarded as a disgrace to it. Now, we have all heard, oh, this is the black sheep of the family. It's a black sheep of the family. And it's a bad title, but at the end of this episode, I'm going to show you that it is a good title. And so here we go. We're going to dive into some educational stuff. The black sheep of the family is someone who is marginalized, scapegoated, misunderstood. They may be particularly sensitive, emotionally intense, curious, and wired differently. When the family has identified the person as a black sheep, all family members project their unwanted negative traits to this scapegoat, pointing fingers at the black sheep. And I know that's messed up, and you probably say, "Oh, my family don't have a black sheep." Yeah, y'all do. It's the person where either you like, "Oh, here come this person," or "Oh, such and such is they in jail again." It's kind of like the black sheep takes on a lot of judgment, and it makes us feel less than. And so, I'm gonna go into this and signs. Here's some signs that you are made to play the role of the black sheep. And when I read this, I was like, uh, oh shit, it was mostly talking about me. I had an amen corner at that point. Um, so signs that you are made to play the role of the black sheep. Your parents treated you differently when compared to the way they treated other siblings. I can attest to that because I'm the middle child out of four children. There's my older sister, Felicia, my brother, Victor, then it's me and my little sister, Bianca. And I've said in my previous episodes, it felt like my mom gave more love to my siblings than me. And, that is actually hurtful for a child because, and some people like, well, you got to love each child differently and meet them on their level. That's not the case. You're supposed to love all your children equally, all of them, not just, oh, I'm going to love this one more. I'm going to cater to this one more. Uh, she good. I, she don't need mother's love. Oh, this is the baby. I gotta definitely cater her to her or him. And it's messed up. So here's another thing. And I have experienced this as well. And I'm not going to go through all of that. You were criticized for the way you are being name called as the drama queen, the crybaby, and overly sensitive. Now, those are labels. I don't know that if you grew up in the old school, you know how family tell you, like your grandmama said, is not what they call you, is what you answer to. And those labels are projecting. Pretty much they're saying, I see this on myself, so I'm going to project that on you. And you have to carry that label. And I'm telling you right now, you ain't got to carry not got no goddamn label. So it's messed up. Your mistakes are blown out of proportion and punished disproportionately. Let's see. And I'm not going to go through all that. You always have the feeling that you don't fit in with your family, or you didn't have develop a strong connection with them. Remember I said, why am I just a misfit? Why am I just a nitwit? You can't fire me, I quit. I just don't fit in. I identify with that song because I didn't fit in with I didn't fit in with the rest of my siblings. I am the wild child. I am the person that, if somebody want to talk smack, I'm putting my dukes up. But it separates you and you're not able to develop those connections, and you're just kind of left standing alone, and that could bring so much trauma. And like I said, I'm still dealing with it. Even though I'm 41 years old, I'm still dealing with stuff for past 2 decades. Um, oh, and here's another one. When you thrive and get stronger and more independent, your sense of family members intent on bringing you down and dismissing your achievements. So, for example, if you are the first person to graduate from college and your family says, oh, okay, well, you got your little bachelor's degree. Mm, it ain't nothing. Dismissing your achievements because they're not able to achieve it. Or you got your little podcast. You got your little podcast. I guess it's all right. Dismissing achievements to bring you down to their level. And the thing of being a black sheep, thing of being a black sheep, people always want to bring us down to that level because they feel like that you can fly above them. Think about it. Crabs in a bucket. That's the perfect example. It was an old story about a farmer who had crabs in the bucket. And the guy came by and he said, why you got the lid open? There's all these crabs in here. Won't they crawl out and leave? And the farmer says, no, because once one of them crawl out and leave, the other crabs bring them down. That's why they say crabs in a bucket. And unfortunately, in the African American community, we do that, but that's a whole nother episode for a whole nother day. But when you achieve a certain level in life, it's also sometimes it's your family members that bring you down and minimize your achievement because they don't want to see you win. And I'm not talking about all families. There's some families out there that support their children, but it's some families out there that don't support them. And you have to rise above that. Let's see. Oh, this one hit me. Name calling. You were always the weird one, the wild card, and the trouble. I can identify with that because I was considered the wild child. My dad's project, the trouble one, because it was an act of rebellion, and it was like showing my not only my mom, like, look at me, look at me, look at me, I can do this. And when I didn't get that attention, I said, fuck it, I became a rebel. And my first rebel thing that I did, my mom, I went natural back in 2010. Dang, it's been 15 years since I've been natural. And back in those days, when you went natural back in the day, it wasn't a lot of natural product. No, It was far and few between. You only had Carol's daughter, and that shit for a bottle of shampoo was about $40. Anything $40. It was about $40. And I remember my mom saying, I don't want you to go natural. I like the wigs, I like the weave, and I like, you looking pretty. And I remember cutting my hair, and my mom was not for it. And even though it took me a long time to accept my natural hair, and as you see, I don't have any hair, and it's because like I said, the rebel. I was the rebel. So from natural hair to cutting it off, which I look great. It's always like, okay, what color is she gonna come out with? And like I said, if you seen a couple of my pictures, you see some colors. And also, let's see, when you have been made to be the black sheep of the family, it does not mean your family do not love you or that that they intentionally try to harm you. Rather, their need is to label you often comes with their own vulnerabilities. That's called projection. And pretty much it's like, I feel insecure. I'm not pretty. So I'm going to put that off on you, like the scapegoat, you know. And that is unfair. And always, not only we're black, we feel we don't feel like we belong in our family. Sometimes it bleeds over to our relationship, our friend circle. And we're like, okay, since I don't belong here, so I'm just going to be the rebel and I'm just going to be the wild card and be like me. Fuck it. Since y'all put this label on me, God damn it, I'm a rocket. But it is so let's go ahead and get back. Let's go ahead and get back to hey Erica, what's up? Let's go ahead and get back to Terry's story. Like I said, Terry was not the villain. She was not the villain because she was the backbone of the family, not Big Mama financially backbone, but she was not the villain. And of course, once we get into it, I'm going to show you some character traits that we can all relate to Terry. So let's go ahead and get into it. Terry's ambition was validated her place in the family. Like I said, I'm not going to give the whole movie away. Terry was the lawyer and she had a lot of money. And then you got the other two sisters, which was one was a hairdresser, and I think the other one was a stay-at-home mom. But I remember this scene where they was talking about their food and stuff like that. And she told her, she was like, yeah, mama always had me in the kitchen, right? And Tara was like, I wasn't in the kitchen. I probably misquoted. She was like, because I was studying, because mom and dad had my head in the books. And that right there, let's take a pause there. If Terry wasn't an ambitious lawyer and making a lot of money, Terry would not be valuable in the family. She was the one like, okay, since I am not recognized, let me go ahead be very ambitious in academics and my career just so I can validate my place in the family cuz the other two sisters already had their place in the family with Big Mama. She was the outsider, the black sheep. The black sheep. And it was a line that says, I'm an ATM, automatically Terry's money. So go further down the line. The family used Terry as a puppet. Now, when you rewatch this movie and look at these points, you're going to be like, damn. So the family used Terry as a puppet. Now, Terry not only backed them financially, she had to take on a burden from a cousin named Cousin Faith. Y'all watched it. She was original thought. Um, because the other sisters were like, "Oh, they're not. She's not going to my house. She's going to stay with you." Pushing their responsibility off on her. And I'm sure Terry was like, "I don't want this chick in my house. Why can't she stay with y'all?" But you soon later find out what Cousin Faith was doing. And so, like, they used her monetarily as a puppet. Like, if something goes down, Terry's on it. Nobody else, everybody else is just sitting, relaxing, chilling. But Terry was used as a puppet. And I'm going to go back to that first point of Terry's ambition validated her place in the family. We can all relate to that if you are a black sheep. You try to be so ambitious that whether it's getting your degree or whether it's starting a business or whether it's starting a podcast or whether you decided to get married and have a family. Those are your ambitions. So everybody else can kind of chillax and do minimum stuff and they can still be in the family, but you had to overcompensate by your achievements. And I can relate to that because out of my family, I'm the first one to graduate, get my undergrad. I was the first one to graduate, getting my master's and graduating top of my class. I am the first one to have my own business. I was the first one to operate my own nonprofit organization. And right now, I'm the first one to have my own podcast. So I had to overcompensate and be more ambitious to say, "Hey, hey, hey, look at me, look at me, look at me. Can y'all bring me in? I'm actually pretty good." So that's what Terry was doing. And I know that once you see it, you're like, "Oh, okay, I didn't think about that." But of course, back then she was portrayed as a bitch. And of course, Tre Cherry, sorry, Terry was used as the puppet. She was the scapegoat. Everybody borrowed stuff from her. If someone's in trouble, they called on her. And also, they push family members on her. And sometimes, like I said, you can be the puppet pulling your strings. Okay, this is going on. You have responsibility for this. We don't want the responsibility, but we're going to put the responsibility on you and we're just going to work your strings and you just going to dance because you need validation. Mm. Terry said no, and the family turned against her. So remember I said that fuck the family scene? That was a classic. In that kitchen, they were talking about paying Big Mama's bills or something like that. It was some going on. It's been a while. And they were saying, we was wondering if Terry and I forgot her husband's name. Terry and whatever her husband's name is. We was wondering if y'all can take care of the bills and we pay y'all back. And Terry was like, I'm not doing that again. What you expect for me to do? Bail Lim out of jail? And she said, she decided to say, no, we're gonna sell the house. And they were like, you're not gonna sell the house. And she said I was the guardian of her estate. Now, let's put a pin there. Out of all the daughters, why was Terry the guardian of her estate? The guardian of her estate? Think about that. She got two other sisters. Why was she the guardian of her estate? And she told him, no, we got to sell the house. And eventually, the two sisters came back and filed some injunction to not sell the house because Terry stood on business and said, no, I'm not doing this. We're gonna sell the house and they'll pay for everything. And she go down I pay mama's bills, I pay for this and pay for that. And so now you're asking me to help pay this too? And then y'all gonna give me half? No. She said, we gonna sell this house. And one thing's for certain and two things for sure. When you're the black sheep, you are not able to say no. You're supposed to go along with everybody else's plan. And when you say no, oh, the family turns against you. They say that you're selfish, which is going to bleed over to my other part. Um, Now, misdirected anger towards her husband because he wanted to follow his dream as a musician and she needed a provider to lighten the load. Now, let me say, I'm not justifying the husband's actions. At the end, he wasn't shit, but he wanted to follow his dream as a musician, and she was like, that's stupid. And in short, she wanted somebody to lighten the load, even though she was highly successful. I'm not saying she was Stafford White. She's saying I done took on all this responsibility for my family, and everybody get to live their lives, but I'm not able to live mine. So I need for you to step up because you're my husband. And at that time, he was wanted to follow his dreams, and the rest goes on and on and on and on. But when you have the family issues on your back, it bleeds over to the person that you love. It's misdirected anger because you're so afraid to be judged that you don't want to speak your mind because everything that you say is going to be put under a microscope. So that bleeds over into the relationship and takes out a person that really, really loves you, and you're misdirecting that anger towards that person because it's an easy target. But what you don't realize, it is a cycle. Stay with me, I'm gonna bless you. Terry was providing for her family. She was the bank of Terry. She wasn't able to live out her dream. She was on the thing of, I gotta be this successful lawyer so people can put respect on my name. Now, that bleeds over to her marriage with the misdirected anger. So, how that is a vicious cycle, because she's doing the same thing that her family did to her, but she don't want to be so opinionated because she knows her family is going to shut her down. But I encourage you to watch this movie. Like, it is an amazing movie because in the holiday season that is coming up, you know how family want to be all in your motherfucking business, especially if you're single or, newly married or whatever. They want to be all up in your Kool-Aid and don't even know the flavor and offer you very much unsolicited advice. So, it comes up with, oh, so when are you getting married? When you having kids? Oh, so you doing this? What's next? And that makes family gatherings so bunk because it's none of your fucking business what I do and who I screw. I say that all the time. It's none of your fucking business of who I do and who I do and what I do and who I screw. That's none of their business, because whatever you doing in your life right now that is making you happy and making you wake up in the morning, continue to do that. Fuck them. Fuck the family. I'm gonna keep saying that. Fuck the family. Because now I I realize that I have came to grips with that line, because you get so fed up with the bullshit that your family puts you through, you say, fuck y'all. Fuck y'all. And everybody says this line: blood is thicker than water. Let me pull my mic up. Blood is thicker than water. Now, blood, what is mostly made up, makes up blood? Water. If you don't get water to your blood, then it's thick, and I may be wrong, form blood clots. But that water moves that blood slowly, very slow. So, what that means is 92% is water. So, what that means is 92% is water, meaning blood is not thicker than water. Sometimes your family can hurt you more than your spouse, more than your best friend, more than, your sneaky link that you love, or more than your side chick, side dude. Sorry. But the blood cannot function without water. So that's why I get so angry when people say, well, blood is thicker than water. And that's more so no matter what, whether your family is wrong or talking about you, you still supposed to stick by them. But what if the family is taking pieces of my life and it hurts like hell? So think about blood is thicker than water. 92% of blood is made of. And some of those people one day gonna be washed away. And it's okay to take a break from the family, especially if it's breaking your soul. Because what if you give and give and give and give and give so much, what do you have left over to give? Whether it's your kids or your spouse, your family takes a lot out of you. So it's okay to step back and be like, look, I ain't fucking with y'all right now. Let me do my thing. If I circle back around, we can have a conversation. And in this holiday season, when we go into these family events and they ask you something very personal that you don't want to disclose, say fuck y'all. Well, not the elders, but if the elders get out of place with you, you can say fuck y'all too. But you don't have to answer everything. You can say, so when you get married, okay, when your edge is gonna grow, when you gonna have kids, okay, when you find out who your baby daddy is. A little clap back. When you clap back like that, that's when they be like, oh, okay, let me step back. Let me step back. So here are some points to help you get through the holiday season. Black sheep. Just say no. All 80s kids know this phrase. Just say no. If you see a drug dealer, just say no. That didn't help the drug problem. uh, just say no. If you don't feel like doing anything, if your family asks you to do something, just say no. No, I don't feel like doing it. And be prepared if you get a little backlash, but you stood on business by saying no. So just say no. No is such a powerful word. No is such a powerful word. And I didn't realize that until I got older. Hey, Minnie Me, you on my podcast. Say hey. What's up? She like being in the camera. But no is such a powerful word. And no is one of those words that we take for granted. We always say yes, 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 okay, okay, okay. Maybe, maybe, maybe. I think about it. I think about it. I think about it. No is a powerful word. Erica, you got me hollering. Girl, oh. Erica, Erica said my granddaddy got told to mind his motherfucking business in so many words on Thanksgiving. Hey, you gotta do that sometimes. You gotta do that sometimes. Like stay out my pocket, stay out my business. But I want to let you know, no is a powerful word. It's not a bad word. It's a powerful word. It's the word that tells you, hey, I'm standing on business. I'm not going to be moved. This is what I am going to do. Accepted or rejected, but it makes me no motherfucking never mind how you feel. At the end of the day, it is a no. Oh, and if you can't say no, no, we owe in French, ada in Spanish, baby talk, black folks, hell no. I said that with my chest. Hell no. Hell to the no, no, no. Um, Next one. Silence is golden. We have all heard this phrase. Silence is golden. And sometimes you got to sit back and let people talk and not respond and let the fool hear himself talk. So when they talking all that bullshit during the uh family dinner and they asking you all this stuff, you can just give them look be like this. Are you done? Are you done? Okay. And leave it like that. That's going to have them shook up like, I just asked you a question. Are you done? Now, if you're violent like myself, I would look and say, "Are you done?" Or I just walk out. It's okay to walk out before you punch somebody, but your silence is golden. Your silence is golden because when they ask you questions, they're looking for a response, and once they got their response, then from there, they're gonna ask more questions and more questions and more questions. So your silence is golden. And like I said, just give them a look like, are you finished or are you done? Okay. Anyways, somebody pass me the collard greens. That's how you shut that shit down. Or, okay, are you finished? You done? Let me go ahead and get my to-go plate. Fuck all you hoes. Unplug the emotional manipulation. As I said, with explaining the black sheep, they put labels on you and labels don't define you. And it's so messed up. Our family knows us so well. They know what buttons to push and what to say to get a reaction out of us. And once we get that reaction and tell them this, and that, then they won. They won. Labels don't define you, as I said. It's not what they call you, it's what you answer to. So when you feel like that family member is pushing some hot buttons, don't even be bothered about it. Let this be the unbothered holiday season. Let this be the unbothered holiday season. Don't be unbothered. Go around your family. If it's folks you ain't talk to or don't fuck with, if you want to get into heaven, and for example, if I don't fuck with you, this is exactly how the conversation goes. Oh, hey, how you doing? I'm good. That's it. You ain't got to go into explanation. You can just walk the fuck away. I'm good. And walk the fuck away, because they're trying to push these buttons to get a reaction. Because if they get a reaction, they feel like, okay, I didn't hit a sore spot, so it's true what I'm saying. And that's emotional manipulation. They're trying to play on your emotion. Thus, it labels you the sensitive one. So shut down that emotional manipulation. And if you got a family member that does that, then don't even be around them. If they follow you around and start asking questions and shit like that, be like, not today, Satan. Not today. Not today, Satan. Not today. Now, here's the biggest one. If you're a black sheep, you say no. What's the next thing they're going to call you? Selfish. You are so selfish. You don't care about anybody except yourself. You put yourself in front of everybody, before everybody. It's not selfish, it's self-love. And this is something I have experienced. Whenever I get into a disagreement with my family member, I always have to bring up receipts. And it's being translated, oh, you just saying I. No, I have to remind you. Yes, I do all this stuff. You probably forgot. You probably forgot. So, of course, I'm telling you, yes, I have done this stuff. I have receipts. I have receipts of what I've done. So, when people say that and it's so messed up that selfish is a bad word. When you're being selfish, you're saying, look, I'm putting me first. Fuck everybody else. I'm putting me first. I'm going to put myself first, Lucius. I'm putting myself first, Lucius. You're putting yourself first to give yourself self love. Because if you don't, pieces of your soul just slowly withers away. So when people say you're selfish, all right, yeah, I am. What? Next. So it's not, please, selfish is not a bad word. People take selfish as you're doing stuff for you and you're ignoring everybody else. Isn't that the fucking point? I'm doing something for me. For once, I'm tired of giving. And yes, I am putting myself first. So, to hell with y'all. And it's self-love. So I'm going to stick on this point and I want to tell y'all and I'm going to look into the camera. You're not being selfish, darling, if you're putting yourself first. Don't think when your family members call you selfish, they're projecting their own emotions on you, and you don't have to fucking take it. So in 2025, please don't think selfish is a bad word, especially if you've been giving and giving and giving and giving. I'm in the process of doing that right now. I'm in the process of doing that right now. I'm putting myself first. I'm putting myself first. Because I have been there for everybody. And anytime I say I've been there for everybody, I had to plan my mom's funeral. I had to write not only my mom's obituary, but I had to write my auntie's obituary. I have to, it's so much stuff. And I'm like, fuck this. I don't want to do this anymore. And to be called selfish, selfish is self-love. Put that in your corn pipe and smoke it. Overthinking kills your spirit. I'm preaching to myself. If you can't say amen, say ouch. Overthinking kills your spirit. I had an altercation this past Sunday, and I was told that I was being selfish. And this, we real, y'all. My daughter, I'm gonna say it, my platform, my daughter, and she's at that age where she's smelling her own piss. I've been through that age before, and it's all good. She's trying to, she's trying to find herself. And as a mother, I can wholeheartedly say for the past 10 plus years, I have made sure my daughter is taken care of. Now, did I have some help from my mom, Cindy, Tina, and everybody else? Yes, I did. But when it came to what my daughter needed, I try to make a way to do that. I support her no matter what. Anytime I call her or text her, I end it with I love you and I'm always proud of you. And I mean that because I'm speaking life into her, saying, no matter what you're doing, if you feel like you're a failure, mama loves you and mama's still proud of you. So I was called, and it's nothing like a hurt when your child says that you're selfish and you haven't done anything for them. That's a hurtful feeling. It hurts like hell. And so what that made me do is go into overthinking because the last 3 years was crazy. I got my divorce in 2022, tried to reach across the aisles where her dad slapped my hand. So I was in overdrive to make sure she, have everything she need. Um, Making sure if I couldn't take her to school that a trusted person would take her to school when her dad didn't. Oh, did I say that? Facts. Um but to see her say that I'm selfish, that had me overthinking everything. Like, what did I do different? Yeah, in the beginning stage, because I had Amari when I was 21. And at 21, you really trying to define your stuff. And then, of course, 21 is the legal age to drink. So imagine my discontent when I was pregnant. Couldn't drink on my 21st birthday. And I didn't know I was suffering from uh postpartum depression. I may have gotten it wrong because I didn't want to I didn't want to be at the house with my daughter. I just wanted to go out on Beale Street. I wanted to get drunk. I just didn't want to be there. And I remember this one particular moment. She was crying so bad. And I regret this moment to this day. We had a playpen and she was just crying, crying, crying. And I just threw in the playpen because I got so tired. And it took my mom to tell me, T, you got to spend more time with your daughter. And I'm like, okay. And this was about a couple of months before she passed away. You got to spend more time with your daughter. So we used to go on these little shopping trips and, go on little mommy and daughter dates. I'll buy her things and I'll try to drop some wisdom on her and tell her different stories. And those were the fun memories, but it hurt my soul to have my daughter to say that. And I start overthinking everything. And I'm just now getting out of a depression because I was in deep depression the past couple of days. I didn't want to talk to her. I didn't want to talk to my family. I just went into straight solitude because I was overthinking, like, what did I do different? Okay, if I should done this different, maybe I should did this different. And it took a couple of friends, my close friends, to tell me, Tiff, you gotta let her go. Next month, my daughter's gonna be 20. You gotta let her go. Let her find life. Let her do her own thing. And I always think about the prodigal son in the Bible, where the dad gave the prodigal son so much stuff that he wanted to take all his riches and ball out. And then he balls out till he has nothing left. And then he comes back to his dad. And I feel like when kids get to that age, you just gotta let them go. You just gotta be like, all right, cool. It is what it is. Let's see what Angela says. Oh, Angela said, I got a couple of more minutes. Let me go over this. You can't take the weight on over people's insecurities. Like I said, that deflection. People can be so insecure. And you feel like I got to take this weight on for everybody. I have to bear the cross. And baby, you ain't got to bear that cross. You bear your own. And I can remember when I was 14, I had to bear the cross of keeping my family together after my grandmother died. Because my grandmother, that was my rock. That was my rock. And when she passed, the bottom fell out of my life. And at that point, I felt like, and I took on the responsibility because I feel like if I don't keep the family together, the family is going to fall apart. And others people's insecurities and worries and doubts fell right on my shoulder. And I didn't ask for it. Many me down. I didn't ask for it. And you don't have to take their burden on. Life, it's too much shit going on in life. You be like, nah, fam, you deal with this problem on your own. You ain't gotta include me on that. So don't take the weight on over other people's insecurities. And also live your life unapologetically. That's to wrap up everything. Meaning you can say no, right, Minnie? You can say no. You can stand on business. You can create boundaries. And let me put a pin there on boundaries. I did not know that boundaries mean that, okay, you can't cross this line. I thought boundaries were, okay, I'm going to put this temporary wall up, but just in case this person need me, I can lift this wall back up. And it was a continuing cycle where, you know, it was taking pieces of my soul, and I was the yes person. So create strong boundaries. If it's a topic, if it's something that said, somebody like, oh, your little sister, she needs about $100 to, get her car out of repo. You can pretty much say, I got bills of my own. Or, your dad needs for you to, check up on your brother because he's going through life. So am I. I'll be praying for him. We say creating boundaries with our friends in our inner circle, but this year in 2025, I encourage you to create boundaries with your family. Stand on business. Don't feel ashamed, don't feel upset, don't feel like you're disappointing anybody. At the end of the day, it is you. You take care of you. So I encourage you to set boundaries with your family. They don't get away with because that's your family. Once again, I said blood is thicker than water. 92% of blood is made of water. Just because they're your family, you don't let them slide with shit. Stand on business. Stand on business. And as I always say, don't take the word selfish as a bad word. It's not a bad word when you putting yourself first to save yourself. To save yourself from generational curses, to save yourself from your own peace, to save yourself, to save yourself. So I'm telling y'all this year, don't take it the word selfish wrong when you putting yourself to save yourself. Oh, I done got hot and bothered. I'm sorry, that didn't hit a nerve. So live your life unapologetically. If your family don't like it, fuck it. Either you're gonna piss or get off the pot. And the doors of the church are open. The doors of the church are open. You can come by Christian experience. But and also I would say you are not the black sheep. You the goddamn goat. You different. You built different. You're made different. And I think Duran Barr said, be you because everybody else is taken. You are a unique soul. You have dreams and aspirations that can change the world. You are the goddamn goat. You are the trailblazer. And when you have people that is afraid of your light, don't let you shine, they'll try everything to dim it. And I'm telling y'all, don't let people dim your light. Don't let family dim your light. You soar. You fly above. You fly above. You fly above them. You fly above them. They'll come around. And if they not, go the fuck well. Go the fuck well. I have some family members I don't talk to. If just in case y'all know, I have an older sister, my dad's oldest child. I don't fuck with. I got an uncle I don't fuck with. And that's well, I might as well say that. Well, I don't fuck with them because they never got a chance to know me, and then they try to come back in my life, and I'm like, keep that energy over there. I don't want it. Keep it over there. But I want to say to y'all are goats. The black sheep, y'all are the fucking goat. Walk in that fucking dinner with your head high and strutting, strutting, just strut. No matter what, you got to strut. And say, you know what? Just say no. Fuck you. And I'm not taking the disrespect. So I am exiting stage left. So you can sit up there and talk to your damn self. And it's okay to go on a family fast. Like I said, a couple days ago, I didn't want to speak to anybody because I was just so hurt. I was so hurt and I was overthinking everything. So when you walk into that Christmas dinner you better go ahead and strut. Don't answer to folks that mean you no good. And you can always leave and take a to go plate. In fact, you should go ahead and pack your to go plate before you eat. Be like, I already got that wrapped up. Put that. Okay, I got y'all a little. Here's a little secret. Fix your to go plate first. Wrap it up. Put it in a plastic bag. Put it in your car. So when motherfuckers start talking shit, you be like, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. So yeah. That's a tip. That's a tip. But I thank you guys for rocking with me today. And like I said, this is dedicated to the black sheep. In fact, Unapologetically Tee is dedicated to the black sheep. The people that feel like their voices is not heard and their opinions don't matter. Darling, you matter. You have worth. Who knows what the fuck you do may change the trajectory of your whole family. So don't let nobody pull you down. Mm. And I will say this and then I'm going to get off the mic. I thought about it this couple days and I always wondered, why am I so comfortable talking in front of a mic, on a mic, in front of a camera to people that know me and don't know me? You know, it should be opposite because I feel like this is some of the stuff I couldn't even say to my friends, mostly my family. These are the stories I couldn't tell or what I felt like. So, being on this camera in front of this powerful, powerful mic, I want to tell y'all, the ones that listen to me and the ones that see it, I thank you because this is my form of therapy. And I encourage you, don't hold back your story because you making motherfuckers uncomfortable. Your story can save somebody else's life. And your story can make somebody soar. All righty, so that's the end of my show. I will be coming out with some more episodes as well. Of course, we got to talk about this MJ by topic. Yes, we got to talk about that. And of course, the my battle with epilepsy, but I want y'all to have a good unapologetically holiday and spend it with the ones that you love, that ones that you love and that loves you back. And that's it. And as I always say, you have the right to tell your story. Mm-mm. You have the right to tell your story, my love. Don't give any motherfucker the right to tell it for you. And I just want to say it again in the words of my girl Terry, fuck the family. Love y'all.